Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from AnthonysCustoms, and for this review, we are looking at the Variable Action Heroes One Piece USOPP figure. Now this is USOPP post-time skip, and it's very nice to know that they are making a pre-time skip batch of figures. I can't wait to see how those turn out. Zoro looks great. But anyway, let's talk about this figure because this is the one we were reviewing. I have to tell you, it looks really, really nice. Now, I am partial to Usopp as a character. I find him hilarious. So I'm going to try to hold back my bias because there are definitely some things wrong with this figure that we're going to have to talk about. But it does do a lot of things right. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 18.5 centimeters, which makes him just about 7.25 inches. Now, if you swap out his hat, you do have a head for not wearing a hat if you want to do that. He'll be a tiny bit shorter, but that's good enough to give you an idea. These are definitely the larger scale figures, and I'm okay with that. They don't have to fit in with everything else because they just look so nice in most cases. And this is one of those cases. We definitely have some problems engineering-wise, but they managed to pull off this super baggy trouser look for him very nicely, and as they normally do, not every time, but usually, they nailed the flesh tones and shading. It looks really, really, really good. The paint job is definitely clean enough everywhere else. You can see these little rivets or whatever they are, the buckles, everything's painted very cleanly, the wrist straps, very nicely done, and then the shading on the hat, also very nice. Very subtle, but it looks good. And there is shading throughout these pants, and they managed to make it not look like he's pooped himself with this brown shading on this kind of baby poop colored cloth, so that's very nice. And then we also have the glossy finish for what looks like rain boots. I haven't watched any post-time skip stuff. Wow, time skip stuff. Let's see if I can say that. So maybe they are rain boots. I don't know, but they do have that nice contrast in color. Okay, so before we talk about the figure anymore, let's talk about accessories. We have a whole bunch of hands. We have the 2 fist hands that come on him in the package, 2 gripping hands for his slingshot, 1 gripping hand for the back part of his slingshot, 1 thumbs up hand, 1 pointing finger hand, and then 2 relaxed hands. We do get a set of his goggles, which can go around his neck. And then we also get his man purse, which is very nicely painted. Looks great, and that just can drape over his shoulder. We have an interchangeable piece for his head, so this one will be used if you want to remove the hat, and then you can just swap out the back of his hair for that. And then we do have some interchangeable faces. We have the one neutral, slightly kind of angry face that comes on him in the package. One where he's smirking and looking off to the right, one where he's winking and looking off to the left or aiming his slingshot, and then one where he looks kind of upset and is wearing his goggles. Then lastly, we have his 2 different slingshots, one with the very long ropes and one with the short. Now those are molded plastic, not actual rope, but they look very, very nice. So we have a nice batch of accessories, probably one of the better ones, I think, out of the entire line, so that's really nice. So let's see, is the figure going to live up to what it looks like and the accessories it comes with? Mostly, but not in every way. So the first thing I have to note is that the hat comes off very, very easily. It will fall off as you're posing him, so you have to be careful about that. And then the other thing is that the hair, it is on a ball peg, so it can move around a little bit, but it's mostly just going to swivel, so it is going to impede the articulation of the head a whole bunch. And then the other thing is the faces come off sometimes a little bit too easily. And that is so that you can swap out the hair for the piece without the hat plug on it. So this piece is connected on a ball peg, which is good. Even though the head can't rotate on this peg right here, they've compensated for that by making it a double ball peg again, which does give you really good range, and I'm so happy about that because those last few releases that had this right here, but it was not on top of a ball peg, really killed the articulation. So this helps, but the hair does limit it. So you have a double ball peg right there. Then you have another ball peg for the neck, but as you can see, there's not much room for it to really move. You're just going to be leaning it a tiny bit forward and back. Now he has that traditional butterfly joint that we're used to on these guys, but it's so inset that it doesn't really accomplish anything. It just moves a tiny bit, which is nice. It's not ugly or anything, but it doesn't accomplish that much, so it's kind of a bummer. Then we do have that vertical butterfly joint also, but as you can see, there's just nowhere for the arm to go. So that's a problem. So the arm is connected via a ball peg to that butterfly joint, so it can move around a little bit. But I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a little bit of a peg in there that keeps it from moving too much, and that is definitely restrictive. So we do have our hinge, though, in the shoulder, so if you're very careful, it's a little bit stiff, but you can push it down enough and then raise it up that you can raise the arm up pretty well. So that's good. And then, of course, it can rotate around just fine. Although mostly at an angle because of how stiff this is and the way they sculpted it, you can't really pose the shoulders as well as you should be able to. You do have your bicep swivel, though the bicep anatomy is a little questionable. It's kind of just globular. There's not really much shape there, so it's not terrible, but it's definitely not great. You have your double jointed elbow, which works very nicely, and it looks good enough. I mean, it doesn't have any terrible issues, so that's okay. And then for the wrist, we have our little ball hinges, which work nicely. He has really good range, and the way his wrist is designed, it doesn't look bad at all, so that's good. You have your single ball peg up here in the torso. Actually, it's a double. It's technically a double. Cool. I didn't realize that until just now. His torso is just not a great design, and as soon as you move it back, you can see right inside. It doesn't lean very far forward either, so it moves around, but most of that is going to be the lower torso. So I'm not sure what's up with that. It just doesn't work that well. He's going to be pretty limited in the torso. So this piece right here does not float. It is fixed. It's not moving anywhere, but his hips do have a drop down. They are hinged ball pegs. So that will help some, especially when going out to the side. No problem at all, except they're very loose hips, very loose hips. And then going forward, because it's a hinge rather than a ball peg, it goes off at a really crazy angle. So that's not great. And the thigh swivel is in there, but the way it's designed, it doesn't really help. It doesn't work very well. So you can't pose his legs all that much at all. His knees, on the other hand, since he has these really baggy pants, could be terrible. They did a good job because they have it so that the knee tucks in on the pants, and it's great. Every baggy pants character should have a joint like this. I said this in the Figurized Goku review. Needs that kind of knee joint. It works so nicely, and it looks so good. It's so good. Then we have just a little bit of a secondary knee joint down here, but it's the same type of design, so look at that range. Almost 180, baggiest pants on any character I've ever seen, and it works great. I just don't know why more people don't do this. It's such a good design. Then we have a swivel in the shin at the boot. It actually rotates up here and down here, so if you need to rotate both, you can, but you don't really need to. Then you have a ball peg for the ankle, which provides a little bit of an ankle rocker, not too much. It's probably enough. It goes forward and back pretty well, mostly forward, which is more important to me, so I like that. And then we have a toe hinge, which works pretty well. It's a little bit too far back on the foot, but it's nice and stiff and it works okay. So ultimately, this guy does have his fair share of issues. He is by no means a perfect figure or even a great figure, but I'm going to go ahead and say he's good enough. If you're getting this line, you really need to have USOPP anyway, and he's nowhere near bad enough to be a problem. So I would say go ahead and pick it up. You're probably going to enjoy it for the most part. Once you get imposed, it's going to be fine. It's just really the loose hips that are the biggest problem. So be aware of that, and you should be okay. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and in the meantime, keep collecting.